What's up, everyone? Nick from Comic Culture here. It's time for Nick at Night, my weekly comic book review show. Let's get into the books I read this week. We're going to start over in DC. We got a few titles from DC this week. DC tie-in Aquaman issue number 11. Jeremy Adams is on this one. This is a pretty cool episodic adventure with Aquaman. He just got recently leveled up to godlike status. How that translates into the comics, we still have a lot of questions. He's still trying to figure out what his capabilities are, what his capacity is, and push his new power to its limits. We're taking on some of the events happening right before DCKO issue number 1. So Darkseid is around, his parademons are messing with Earth right now, trying to turn it into the next apocalypse. So we're having to deal with all that stuff right there. And, it is a great book. It's very episodic. There's lots of ancillary characters. There's a little bit of a, not like a backstabbing, but there's a little bit of a shifty motive on a certain character right now. And we're exploring a little bit of that. We got some sideways glances. We got some other people doing some stuff, meeting with some other people, trying to uncover a greater mystery going on right here. And that's been fun to see evolve over the last few issues. I will say I want to know more about Aquaman's just capabilities in general. Like, he was very well equipped to take on the threats leading up to the part where he got God status. Now that he has that, it hasn't really translated that well for me personally. I'm going to keep reading it. I really like the character. I like the journey we're on right now. And the tie-in was interesting, but very loosely connected, I would say. So Aquaman issue number 11, not a bad read at all. Let me know if you guys are checking it out. Continuing DC, we have the Black Label Superman the Kryptonite Spectrum. We have issue number 4 right here. Going into the 5th dimension, this book from a design point of view, from a quality point of view, is top notch. We have cardstock covers, pages feel really good. There's lots of great coloring, and just the production value of it is spectacular. Love that. If you like 5th dimension antics with Superman, you're going to dig this one. There's a lot of rules that we understand in here. There is a person that's kind of causing all this mayhem right now, and the imps are kind of at their mercy as well. So Superman has to kind of channel his inner creativity and create like his avatar in the 5th dimension and trying to, combat whatever this evil is. If you like storytelling that goes all over the place, if you like the feel of the book, the composition of the book, the tones and everything shifting constantly to like match the story and the craziness of the 5th dimension, this is the book for you. W. Maxwell Prince and team, Martin Morazzo and Chris O'Halloran, the Ice Cream Man team, they just know what they're doing with this title. It adds a new flair. It adds a great vibe to it. It's got like a Frank Quietly kind of a thing happening here. All-Star Superman vibes for sure. Spectacular series. We're going to the 5th dimension. Had a great time with this one. Let me know if you read it. Continuing DC, we have Batman Dark Patterns issue number 12. Dan Waters on this one, Hayden Sherman on it as well. So this is a spectacular series. It just ends right here with issue number 12, and it's going to be a great collected edition. Definitely pick that up if you haven't been following along with the single issues. This last arc has had some familiar tones, I would say. Basically burning down Gotham, right? In some kind of ritualistic kind of a way. I'm not going to spoil who's involved, the different villains and things like that, because that's part of the fun of this entire story. I will say you might see it coming, maybe, if you read through the whole issue, but that's not really the point here. There's a lot of metaphors going on. There's a lot of, I don't know, it's hard to describe. We're trying to cleanse Gotham in a way, right? We're trying to replicate some kind of fires that took place in the early days of Gotham's beginning. And there's just some like spiritualness to that activity. But there's also different avatars that can like step up and combat that as well. Like, that's my takeaway. I'm still trying to process what happens towards the end of the book because it's a little bit ambiguous, and I'm okay with that. Now, like, the interior art and the colors and everything, they're awesome. They're bright, they're vibrant, they're eerie, they're scary. Like, Dan Waters and Sherman on a book together, they just know how to create a great vibe for the character in general. So if you want a little bit more of a different twist on the character, if you want some more detective style stories from Batman in general, Dark Patterns is a great place to start. We wrap up with issue number 12. It'll be in a collected edition here soon, so you can check that one out. Let me know if you did. All right, let's go over to Marvel next. We have Ultimate Wolverine issue number 11. We have Chris Condon on this one and Cappuccio on the art. So this is like the proper Ultimate X-Men book, in my opinion, right? Like, Peach is doing her own thing over there, but this is really an X-Men team with full of characters that we know that is directly involved in whatever's going on in the Ultimate Universe, and so I kind of like that a lot. It's also a really emotional book. Like, Wolverine was the Winter Soldier. He was programmed by the Rasputins. He broke free of that. He joined his old team again. There's been some casualties. They're going out there and they're taking out secret bases and things like that that the Maker's Council has, especially the Rasputins. And so there's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of loss and things like that. And there's a lot of great commentary between Wolverine and Sabretooth in the previous couple of issues. They continue that inside of here. They hit and impacted the Rasputins pretty heavy and hard in the last couple of issues. This is the retaliation issue. Like, what are they going to do about that? You see inside of here, they come up with a great weapon. They use that weapon, and there are some big casualties because of it. Wolverine, being the indestructible force that he is going to have to go on a mission of revenge on his own. Cannot wait to see him freak out and just do that. And that's going to lead us into a bunch of crazy places, I can imagine. Ultimate Wolverine's been one of those fun books. It has a lot of weight, a lot of heaviness to it, great interior artwork. It's kind of standalone-ish in a way, but it does tie to the broader Ultimate world. And I'm having a good time with it so far. Issue number 11's out. Let me know your thoughts. Next up from Marvel, we have Spider-Man Noir issue number 2. Larson's on the writing, which is my main draw to this, and I don't have a lot of familiarity with the character in general, so I'm diving into the first time here with Spider-Man Noir. Compelling story so far. Has a lot of great character voice still inside here, mixed with the era that we're in. It just makes for a really cool experience. So as you might know, we have our Spider-Man character here. He is a private investigator. Gwen Stacy is a character that comes up to him to help her figure out who murdered her dad. Her dad was in the police force. Was he corrupt? Was he not? Who was he rolling with? What kind of a person was he is what we explore through this issue. And then, of course, we have this murder aspect to it that complicates the story. I'll let you read that and figure all that out. I gotta say, it is really cool to watch Spider-Man take on these gangsters in that kind of a setting with a fedora and this big trench coat. Like I said, the voice of the character is there. The aesthetics are great. The art is really interesting as well. So I think we have a cool story. We have a great aesthetic. I'm having a good time with it. So Larson's killing it on Spider-Man Noir. Issue number 2's out. Let me know if you're reading it. Let's go over to some indies next. IDW, Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, Rites of Spring. We have issue number 4 here. Patrick Horvath doing the majority of the duties, but we have Hassan doing the letters as well. Just continuing a great, compelling, dramatic story. Of course, we have Monica, who is the sister of one of Sam's previous murders. She is coming to town right now. Sam drew her in, just intrigued with like being that close to a living relative of one of her murder cases. So that's a real twisted element of the story. She's trying to actually help her in a way try to solve the murder of her brother, which is a really messed up thing to begin with. So that's really cool. We are actually sent into this like wild goose chase kind of a situation. She's trying to uncover some artifacts that are inside of this house. The previous killer in this town, their family is still around, and so Sam's trying to like pin it all on top of them. It's a really compelling, complex story. I'm loving all of that. The aesthetic of the book is incredible, as you know, Richard Scarry style, and Samantha is just having a great time pulling the strings here and just leading our Monica character to basically dead ends. And so that's just a really cool, compelling thing. Where the story is going to go, I have no freaking idea. Like Sam has to be she has to win, right, at the end of the day, and she's not really being challenged right now, which is kind of cool. So there's a lot of interesting things happening from just that point of view. This issue does spend a lot of time with some other ancillary characters. I actually honestly have to go back and realize like what the relevance is of these certain scenes. There's some characters and like their mom, and she has to take medicine, and she's really freaking out about stuff. Like I have to piece all that back together for some reason. I can't remember that part, but I'm having a really good time with Beneath the Trees regardless. It's one of my favorite books of last year. It continues to be very strong this year. It's going to make a great collected read. Make sure you're checking it out. Conan the Barbarian, issue number 26. Of course, we have Jim Zub on this one, and we have Deadzone, I think that's how you pronounce it, on the art. Just another amazing issue of Conan the Barbarian. If you need more reason to get this book, this is it right here. A lot of these main title issues as of late have been standalone-ish. I think what we're doing right now is the lead up to the Serpent event has taken off in its own 4-part series right now. The last issue, 25 and 26, are kind of standalone-ish, so you can jump right in. Highly recommend you do so, especially on 25. So in this story, Conan and his barbaric mercenaries are sent on a task to basically punch through the defenses of this war that's going on right now. This one army is held up right now. They've been able to thwart off any attacks. There's this Mad King who's kind of in control of some things right now, making questionable decisions, and Conan and his team do just that. They punch through and they're able to win the day. But I mean, that's just not it. There's layers and layers of drama and just plotting and scheming and infiltrating, things like that. It's all really compelling and very interesting. I've said it before in Conan reviews, there has to be a page where there's tons of candles everywhere, just lighting up like these dungeon-esque types of scenes. And man, we get that right over there. So yep, we checked all the boxes for me. An awesome Conan story, kicking some ass, saving the day, incredible artistic approach as well. Loving the story. Let me know you're reading it. Let's go back to IDW. We have Godzilla Escape to Deadzone, issue number 4. This is a really cool story. I don't think a lot of people are reading this one. From Sheridan and Parker, and we have Tunica, I think, on the art. So imagine the Godzilla universe. Imagine the world that this Godzilla character is on, or the segment of the world has been walled off, essentially. It's like uninhabitable at this moment. Whatever towns, whatever cities we're in there, it is a walled garden right now, and who knows what's happening inside of there. There's actually people growing up and have been mutated and changed by all the radiation radiation and whatever else that's been leaking out of these kaijus. And we have our main character who's sort of a hybrid. He runs into some kids that are part of a prophecy. We're understanding all of that. And it's all the antics and ancillary characters that we're involved with that really shine in the story. The artwork is very much like the cover. It's dark, it's gritty, it's very sketchy. It feels like homegrown. There's something about the artwork itself that makes you feel dirty and makes you feel like you're in this apocalyptic setting. So great job on the artistic approach, the character designs, and just the tone of the characters in general. We have these two kids that are kind of like ruffians in a way, man. Like they are gnarly, they are untamed, and it's just great to see them interact with our main character who's kind of standoffish and I don't give a crap, but he really does. We get to see the effects of the radiation in this area on full display in this issue. There's a new character they bring in. We get to see her origin story and what kind of problems that she's having right now, and it is really cool. So I know we are saturated with Godzilla right now, but this is a fun, different version of the character. It's not about Godzilla. It's about the area that he's impacting at the moment. Really cool. Highly recommend checking it out. Let me know if you are. Guys, it's a sad day. We have the conclusion of We're Taking Everyone Down With Us, issue number 6. Guys, this has been one of my favorite titles of the year. We have Rosenberg and Landini, we have Word, and we have Haas on this. It is a great, sleek, sexy spy thriller, comedic satire, high drama. It is everything you want it to be. There is so many great things happening in here. If you like a James Bond kind of a character, but it does have that like Austin Power vibe to it, you throw in some robots, you throw in some backstabbing, double crossing, you throw some F-bombs in there, and this is the story you get. The dialogue in this comic is unlike any that I've ever read. They do such a good job making you feel for the characters, the main characters, the ancillary characters. The conversations between them are the most interesting thing until you get some insane visuals and some crazy explosions and things like that. Like they pull out all the stops in this story, and I'm just loving it. There are a lot of twists and turns throughout the entire series, especially in this issue here, kind of rewriting everything that we know. We have this poor mother character that's been thrown into the mix as of late. We get to see what happens with her and the relationship with the daughter and everything. This is a great, great conclusion to this story. One of the best issues that have come out this year, one of the best series out this year. Definitely pick this one up if you haven't yet. Kieran Gillen has a couple different books out. We have Die Loaded issue number 1 with Stephanie Hans. I haven't read the original volume just yet. I wanted to try this one and see how new reader friendly it was. Spoiler, it wasn't new reader friendly from my point of view. I did start reading Die, the original volume. I'm 2 issues in. Really love everything happening inside of there, and I can see how having that context would help. So if you don't have context for Die, you might be lost, or you just might be smarter than me. Both very possible. So in case you didn't know, Die is really about these group of characters who got together back, I don't know, like the 20, 30 years ago. They went to a birthday party for one of the characters, and they started playing this one mysterious game that one of them created, and it basically took them into like a Jumanji type situation. Pulled them to the game, created avatars for them, and they spent some time trying to fight their way out. They've been forever changed since then. Kind of like It in a way, right? These characters went through this traumatic experience as kids. Now they're adults and they still have to relive some of that trauma. Well, what happens when they inadvertently get sucked back into the game? Now they're more prepared than ever, but they're definitely not in a place where they want to be. And now we're having to deal with whatever consequences come along the way too. So I can see that if you were a fan of the original series, you might love this one. Give this a shot though, if you didn't read it even, because I didn't, and I'm having a good time with it still. Let me know if you read it. Next up is one of the books I've been looking forward to the most. We have Colossal Kaya. This is a one-shot right here. Of course, Wes Craig is on it, but we have James Herron and Jason Wordie. We have Mike Huddleston. We have Declan Shelvey. We have Nathan Fox, Ryan Stegman, Jim Mafood. We have so many great people on this story. They're all picking certain characters in different parts, and they are, just telling a little short story. It's a little bit of an anthology on here. We do have a great recap of everything that happened up in the front, and I got to be honest with you guys, after I was reading this, I couldn't believe how much stuff has happened. You know what it calls for? It calls for a reread of Kaya, and I am all for that. What's really great about this, though, is if you've been following along Kaya issue to issue like we have, you get to see these other creator interpretations of the characters, of the world environment. That was the most compelling thing, I think, of this entire issue, was just that different visualistic approach. I really don't want to show you too many different pages. There are some just crazy artwork in here. We got this great Jim Mafood splash page. He actually did this live on Ink Pulp when they had Wes Craig on, probably like 3 months ago. You can find it on their stream. And that was really cool to see that happen live, and it's really cool to see it printed right here. So, obviously, if you're a Kaya fan, this is a must read. You get other great creators on here telling one-off stories. You can't beat that. If you haven't read Kaya, you can jump in here and read the first half of this. It'll kind of catch you up. You're going to miss the nuance. You're going to want to go back, but it is a place to start. Next up from the Ghost Machine universe, we have Redcoat issue number 15. Now, Jeff Johns is on this one, of course. We have Brian Hitch, Andrew Carey, and Brad Anderson. This one's actually taking place, when is this, like 1909. So we're fast forwarding a little bit. Simon Pure has changed his name. He's got himself a family. He's got himself a legit job trying to earn some honest money. That's really it inside the issue. We get to see what his life looks like right now in the early 1900s. It's a little bit of a step back on the excitement part. He does still reminisce about the good old days throughout the issue, and we have a surprise return of a great character that we saw early on in the series towards the end of this, but like to what end is what we're going to be getting at. I got to say, it is kind of fun to see Simon so happy and just embracing his family. So you got a lot of that going on. Other than that, it's a pretty step back kind of an issue. There's not a whole lot of other things that happen. And we do get, like I said, that surprise visit from an old friend towards the end of the book that's going to set us off into all kinds of directions. But you know me, I love Redcoat. We have issue number 15 out. Another great read, kind of a transitional issue. Let me know if you read it. All right, guys, the last issue, we have Power Fantasy issue number 13. Kieran Gillen on this. We have Casper Wingard. We have Clayton on here as well as Hughes. Every once in a while, they do this kind of an issue where they bring a lot of their atomics all back together to have this level setting conversation. We tried to do that a few issues ago. Did not go according to plan. We're doing it again just to level set a little bit. But are we really level setting? That's what we see inside of here. The amount of nuance that takes place during these conversations, us as the reader having all the perspectives, all the understanding of what the characters are thinking in a way. We know what they're hiding from other people. We know the actions they've done in the past that others don't know. We know about the secret conversations behind closed doors. It's great to have that point of view because all the other characters are kind of in the dark. They're all siloed a little bit. So when they have this conversation, you can tell when they're lying. You can tell when they're not telling the full truth. You can tell when they're holding back a little bit. Even when they're in a circumstance where they're supposed to be open, cards on the table, trying to not flip out and destroy everything. It is very much a talking head issue, but it does not matter. It does not matter that it's not a world-ending event or something like that, or something crazy is happening on every page. The amount of drama and the amount of nuance on each panel is what is exciting throughout the story. And believe me, there are plenty of hair-raising moments throughout the issue. Not only that, but Kieran definitely knows how to close out an issue in dramatic fashion. This is no exception. I don't really want to show you too much. There is so many cool little moments in here. Great visuals and everything. I want you to experience it yourself. It's one of the best books on the shelf right now. Issue number 13 is out. He has a story through issue 16 and beyond. Let's not make 16 be the last issue, guys. Get the collected editions if you haven't yet. Pick up the single issues if you haven't at your shops. It is amazing. Let me know if you're reading it. All right, guys, that's what I read this week. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what you picked up and what your favorite books of the week were down below. While you're down there, like, subscribe, share, hit that bell notification to be alerted whenever I put out new videos. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you in the comments.